Welcome back, everybody. I got some more Oasis. I love this band. I love this song. This is from the soundboard from one of the Heaton Park shows. I'm keeping my eye on some of the second-hand sites, thinking about going to Wembley this weekend, next weekend. What is it, like the 2nd, 3rd of August or something? I went to watch Oasis maybe 2006, I think it was. And this was the only song they didn't play, man. And at the time, it was one of my favourites, and I could not believe they didn't play it. So let's see how they're sounding in Manchester. Oh, sounding huge. Sounding massive, man, and you can hear the crowd being so loud, I suppose, in the background, as much as I would have tried to minimise it perhaps in this mix. But I saw a few reels on Instagram without the sound on, and I could just tell from the way the crowd were bouncing, that it was this tune. And when I pressed on mute, it was. Right there, man. Like I was talking about in Slide Away, it's the hope and the positivity that is the sort of DNA of all Oasis songs. You can wait for a lifetime to spend your days in the sunshine, but you've got to make it happen. Take action, man, because no one's coming to save you, are they? You've got to go out there and attack life, and get it. You gotta make it happen. I think it was 80,000 a night, was it, at Heaton Park? I wonder how many Wembley holds. That's the line, isn't it, man? Is it worth the aggravation to find yourself a job when there's nothing worth working for? We need meaning, man. We need meaning as human beings. Cigarettes and alcohol, man. It's a fuel that I ran on for years and years. And it's well, when you're young, it is a different story, as much as I hated people telling me that when I was young, I suppose. Yeah. like every inch, every ounce of this song, you know, of this band are in my DNA, I guess. I think like Noel's writing, you know, it comes into my writing. Not long ago I was playing a few new songs I've been writing to a friend, and well, it was a little while ago, but yeah, first thing he said, you know, it sounds like a Noel song, which I don't know if I've always had, but he is one of the greatest songwriters of all time. I was on the bus today and was listening. I put on the best of that he released of his solo stuff not long ago, and the songwriting is incredible, you know. Even then, you know, and maybe some of those songs don't have the gravity that the Oasis songs have, because I guess the 90s was a very sort of special time, wasn't it, you know? I've heard Noel say, you know, that they thought it was the beginning of something, but it was the end of something, you know. They were the last sort of true rock stars, but maybe it's just my age that I feel the nostalgia for the 90s, but it was the kind of the last generation, the last time before the sort of internet got involved, didn't it, you know? And culture has sort of since become homogenized in some way, right? Like fashion-wise, has much really changed in the last sort of 20 years. Our era is more easily more difficult to define now, you know, perhaps. But anyway, going back to Noel's like solo songs, I was listening to Everybody's on the Run, and there's the line in that's great, where he sings, "You gotta hold on, you gotta be strong enough for love, you know." And just that idea, you know, you've got to be strong enough for love. That's just, I find that such an interesting idea. And then I was thinking, our songs, because I remember playing some of Liam's solo stuff to a friend, and him just being like, "It's not Slide Away, you know. It's not Slide Away. It doesn't sound as good as Slide Away, you know." And I think that is I get his point, but also, you know, times change and people change, right? So he's not trying to do Slide Away, you know, and even like listening to this, you know, it's great to hear him, you know, loud, and Liam's voice sounds great. It doesn't sound like young Liam though, but you know, why should he? You know, it's different. But going back to Noel's songwriting, songs like "Dead in the Water" or "Dead to the World," they are as good as like any Oasis song, right? I mean, there's still some magical, special ones. Even Liam's solo stuff, man. I remember watching As It Was, the documentary, and at the very end, just hearing the little hints of Once, and straight, you know, just feeling it straight away and being like, "What is this?" You know. And that's an incredible song, isn't it? You know, incredible. And even some of Liam's solo ones that he wrote fully on his own, like Bold and stuff, you know, they're great songs, man. And I think in a word, you know, if you had to sum up Oasis, it's hope, isn't it? I think they're together, apart. It's hope, and we need hope, don't we? You know. So I suppose going back to cigarettes and alcohol, you know, lubrication of creativity, of life, is some kind of lubrication, I suppose, or relief, or something of life is important. You just got to look out for that scorpion's tail, right? But that's what Oasis is to me, I guess, is, you know, makes me want to attack life.
fans. Good shit, innit, man? Good shit. Fucking good shit.
They're the kind of band, I suppose, that as much as I love listening to those records and some of the live things, the Nebworth stuff and various other things, there's nothing like, I suppose, hearing it out of, huge speakers. And I guess the more I think about it, it's an attraction. To go to Wembley to see them is an attraction, I suppose. Because when I saw them, what was it? Don't Believe the Truth. I think I saw them on maybe that tour in like an indoor arena. And of course, I've watched the Familiar to Millions stuff those days at Wembley in 2000 was it? I watched that VHS, or was that out on VHS? To Death, Main Road, the '96 concert. I had that on VHS. Was it Now and Then? That VHS was called. So I'm unsure if I am going to go or not, but well, we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. Love to take some action in your life, to make things better. See you later.